I had a feeling that was going to happen. It would have been hard for me to even set up this one in time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. When we walked in, they were already voting.
Yeah.
And so I looked back, I hit live stream and I hit OK, and I thought it was recording. And I sat down.
It's hard to tell.
And then she went up and did something.
Yeah.
And then I just left it. And then at the end, she got to it before I did, and she said, I don't think it recorded. I don't.
She's lovely. I'm sure she'll do it.
So, but she, like I said, she didn't say that she recorded it.
Yeah, fantastic. That's it.
But
even if it's an audio, even if somebody just goes in a voice memo, I can use that, and you know what I mean. It's better than nothing.
Well, that's why when I saw that it was going to be closed session, I was kind of prepared. I made sure my phone was charged up and everything. I was going to just record. But since we could use your equipment, but we'll get better.
It's okay. Yeah. We will. We have plenty of time to get it down before they change their ways. The hard part, I was going to leave this one with you, but the hard part is it has to be attached to a phone.
Oh,
and it can take a few minutes to set up. So,
like I said, if I had more time, for sure would have gotten it, but because they were already voting, they were already actually voting, we missed the motion completely.
That's disgusting, and we need to give them crap about that next meeting.
And I asked the reporter what they were voting on, and he didn't. He said, "Well, whatever they did in closed session." I'm like, so he didn't hear it either.
Yeah.
Because I thought people got into the room before I did. You know, like maybe they heard the motion, but no.
He should have come in and announced it. Did he come in and announce it?
Oh, absolutely not. They just opened the door and we had to sail the doors
After the meeting,
open.
can you talk to me for a quick second?
Oh,
Okay.
so I think we need to look at the open meeting.
I remember that remark.
There's no way that's appropriate.
Oh, no.
They should have waited for us to come back.
6 months.
And the other
Right
group
now,
was
Fidelity, they're about
waiting for things to get settled down.
Yeah.
for 3 months. So up to about 4, 12, and it's pretty much a flat line between 4 and a half, 30 years. You can get a 30-year CD. Yeah. If you want to lock it on for 30 years. But you have to look at the way you do that is usually callable. So for example, if it's callable, interest rates drop, I could say call CD and you have a short. So you'll see that. And then
At least I got to see that I've driven past this millions of times and never paid any attention. Obviously.
I knew you could find it.
You know, because she said it wasn't very far. I know, oh, it's right there.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I actually can't live stream in here because I don't get enough signal, but I can record and then upload it when I get home, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But that's actually why I wanted this camera.
I thought at the very least I could record with my phone.
Of course.
And then figure out how to get it to you again.
So if you give them a fixed $600, they can set up so if they have so much 3, 6, 9, 12 months. So they take through.
Well, like you said, you're learning a lot. I'm learning a lot too. So I've got a high bar to reach.
And you know, we can't beat ourselves up for things we didn't know before, right? I wish I'd started recording them when I started one of the meetings.
But you know, I wasn't bold enough to do it at first.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like a hospital. It's not, but it seems like a hospital. Because actually some places want you to because they would rather see
that. And you know, I didn't know how to do it, but I did invest in finding out how to do it. You know, because I felt like it was, you know, fairly impressive view that I didn't know that I wanted to go there, but in hindsight, wouldn't have made any difference either way.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
took roll call, right? Approval of the agenda.
Also move to approve the May 12th, 2025 meeting agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Approval of consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular township board meeting minutes dated April 14th, 2025. To accept the treasurer's report as presented, to accept the assessor's report for May 2025, to approve the April 2025 bills, and to transfer the funds, and the bill listings for general fund, check number 30723 through 307779, building checks 2635 and 2636, the electronic fund transfers, payrolls for township police and fire departments for April 2025 is $205,641.59.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. County reports, looks like Greg's not here. So, public time.
Aaron Pacheco, the Village of Metamora. So I want to say that I really appreciated Chief Davis's explanation of the cameras going out last meeting. It was very detailed and it was great. Because I had heard about those cameras at Dryden meetings and I asked about it at the village and they finally talked about it. But I think that especially when you've been thinking about this for like 9 months, you start talking about it earlier. Because yeah, you might get grief from the public, and I hear Dryden Village and Dryden Township are getting grief from the public, but that is part of the process. Because this isn't just your 5 minds, as I've said before. This is the whole, you are representing the whole township here. And our input matters. Our input matters, and that's, yeah, you want to avoid the grief, but that is part of the job. It really is, and you might get good input on things, right? But again, I'm glad we're getting cameras. I am, and I hope we get more later on. So this weekend, I was in Rochester Municipal Park with some family members, and it just really struck me how gross it is that 11 years and 9 months after $350,000 was spent on that land on North Oak Street, it's in the village and in the township. It was money that came from a lot of people and a lot of years worked on buying that park. There are still no signs out there. You're a DDA member, Mr. Best, you could work on that. There's still no, well, there are trails, but people don't even know that they're allowed to use those trails. And there was been so much ORV driving in there over the years, and then people still think it's private property, and that's not okay. Because what a park gives to a community is so invaluable. It is just fantastic. And just to know that, if you're in another area, like I was in Rochester, I don't pay taxes there, I can still go use it. That is part of the beauty of America. We had parks before we were a country. I want to say that I'm also really glad that the police department is upping their training level. And I keep hearing about trainings every meeting, and that is so fantastic. I hope that we consider getting every officer trained just through that cheapo $30 course that is on the DNR website, so everybody knows about ORVs and their laws. And that's kind of a simplified one that's kind of meant for kids, but gosh, it would be great if everyone just even knew that. Because it is still just so common to see UTVs where they don't belong. The other night, I saw one right out here, and then I saw one on Pratt by Baldwin. Neither was plated, both were going a whole lot faster than 25. It's an accident waiting that happened, this is preventable. We get more people trained and we spread the word more. And you know, it's really surprising to see that there's no planning commission meeting this week, because they have work to do. They have a master plan to redo, they have the sign ordinance they started doing, I think, like over a year ago, and they're not done yet. It'd be great if they got some of that work done. Thank you.
Any other public time? Fire department.
The activity report for
month of April 2025, we had 31 calls for the month. We had 11 fires, 18 medicals, 2 PIs, 1 meeting, 2 trainings, 1 work detail. 3 structure fires for the month, all of them were mutual aid, Oxford, Lapeer, and I think Hadley was the other. So, been a busy month. The only thing that I want to touch on that I didn't get put on the agenda is I brought up last month about the dry hydrants. And I still haven't got the other quote. I don't know if I'm going to get it. But I kind of got the township mapped out kind of like in different quadrants. And if, you know, we could put in a lot of dry hydrants, but if I think we put in like 4, 5, 6, I think that would give us an adequate water source throughout the township. And the southeast corner down in that area there, we really have nothing down there. So putting something down there would help, especially during the winter time when maybe things are filled over and stuff like that. This time of year is not really that big of a problem. We've got plenty of rivers down there and streams and creeks and stuff like that that we can get into. But having a dry hydrant that we can tap into 365, I think would be really beneficial. Still working on that. Scott, what I'll do is maybe this week I'll kind of go over this map with you about what I had planned out, and I can share it with the rest of the township.
Thanks.
And get thoughts on that, and then figure out how we want to proceed with that.
How does that work with like private property? Is it?
So we
the one
have,
on Kyle Road is on private.
yeah, we have quite a few of them that are on private property. So we just get permission from them to do it, and then all the ones that we have now, we have permission to use anytime we have a fire in that area, so it wouldn't be just for like their house or whatnot.
Probably good for their homeowners insurance.
I'm sure it would be.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would be. But we have, right now, we have 9, or we had 9 in the township. And we're down to, I think, 5 that work. A couple of them were taken out. The one on Gardner Road was taken out when they redid the bridge. But that one hasn't worked in a few years. Being in that river, and it was kind of pointing upstream, we would go out there a couple times a year and just clear out around it. But it would be 3-4 feet in muck. And there's no way to keep that clean. So, other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, thanks. Police department business.
Good evening. For April 2025, we had 323 calls for service, 174 of those were traffic stops. We had 4 property damage accidents, 5 car deer property damage accidents, 2 PIs, 8 alarms, 6 domestic violence incidents, 3 warrant arrests, and 1 OWI arrest. Training in April, all officers have completed their flock safety training, how to use the new system. There's an app and also the website. We've also done a training on our new phone system, which I'd like to thank the township for allowing that to happen. It was much needed, and it's a good upgrade for everybody. On Saturday, the 17th, this Saturday, all officers will be completing 8 hours of traffic stops and counter ambush training. That's going to be with our new simunition guns that we got a few months back. It'll be good training for everybody, good thing for everybody to go over. Grants, Officer Irish, he worked very hard and completed the OHSP traffic safety grant. We received confirmation that we were awarded the grant. We're going to be receiving, starting in October 2025 to October 2026, 500 hours of traffic overtime. The overtime is not only wages, but it's also, it covers retirement, Social Security, Medicare, fuel for the vehicles, everything. So it's a great grant for us. We also were awarded for a part of that grant, a speed trailer. So we'll be able to put the speed trailer in subdivisions, back roads, in the village, wherever we're having issues with speed. What's really nice about the trailer that we were awarded, it also has a spot, it's already got the technology, we could hook a flock up to it. So the camera could be able to be mobile, for example. We want to take it down to Baldwin Road or any of the back roads, we have the capability Also, part of that grant, we also were awarded a new radar unit for one of our patrol vehicles. One of our units is pretty dated, and again, I commend him for the hard work on that grant and getting that. Notable incidents, Officer Plowman conducted a drone flight operation assisting the city of Lapeer to locate homeless camps in a wooded area around the city of Lapeer. It took place around the Oakdale property in the woods behind Chatfield and Mott Community College. One of the homeless camps was actually located approximately 100 yards away from Planet Fitness in the woods. It wouldn't have been able to be found without a drone. There was a fire that had still been smoldering, so somebody had recently been there. The drone was able to cover 1.4 square miles or 581 acres in under 35 minutes. So Chief Howe from the city of Lapeer thanked us for our use of our drone. Officer Setter had 2 arrests for domestic violence incidents over the month. Officer Best had a felony drug arrest. And then this is actually in May, it was May 2nd, something to tell you guys about. Officer Irish ran a plate on a vehicle. It was a little after 1 o'clock in the morning that was pulling into the Shell gas station. They had a voluntary conversation. It wasn't a traffic stop or anything like that. There was 2 occupants in the vehicle. He talked to the driver, and the driver went to the store and made a purchase. The passenger didn't want to talk. The vehicle left, and later that morning, an armed robbery occurred in Heartland, Michigan, and Livingston County. We were contacted by Livingston County, and the vehicle in interest in the armed robbery was the vehicle that Officer Irish had encountered. He's out there being proactive, being visible, and in my opinion, he probably stopped an armed robbery at the Shell gas station. So that's all I got.
Thank you.
So are we gonna recognize him for that exceptional effort? I mean, that was proactive, that was, part of his training, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, that's in the works, so I'll get that going.
Okay, that's great.
Connie, you got something?
I do. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the Northbridge Sub Deficit Elimination Plan. Again, this is the second time you've seen this. I have to do this every year with the state of Michigan as part of our submittal for our audit. This outlines the payback of the loan that we gave to the payment. Yeah, for the payment of progress. So we have to track it as a separate account in our ledger. We have to track it as a negative balance until it's fully paid. So as you can see, it's a projection of 10 years. Right. And again, I make a motion to approve this deficit elimination plan for Northbridge. So
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do a roll call.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry, Derderian,
Yes.
Chouinard? Yes. Benscoter?
Yes.
Best?
Yes.
Clerk? Yes.
All right. Any,
I got a little something to say about the ambulance. EMS, April 24th, that was Thursday, 2025. We had a special session so we could purchase a new ambulance. His projection was 2 in 1 year, and since Canada, the one that we have on order is still on order, but we're not sure we're gonna get it because of the, not the environment, tariffs, thank you. And so this came up suddenly, and so we purchased a vehicle here, and it was a 25E 350 Fleet Hawk ambulance, and the purchase price was $232,630.20. And then we purchased a Striker, which has a power unit in it, so that when they're transferring patients to the hospital or wherever, they don't have to lift them by hand anymore. It's, it's power, and so it's up to 400 pounds. And that's really an expensive unit, but they're making it, it's gonna probably be mandatory because it cuts down on the workman's comp problems for the people that work at the EMTs. So that was purchased also for $37,705.39 for one striker. That's expensive, but you need it for what is needed in today's society. People are heavier and there's more injuries for the ambulance. So I just thought I'd let you guys know.
Anything else?
I'll be absent from the June meeting. Graduation night at Murphy.
Oh.
Traffic night.
Okay, I guess we need a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.